Happy Labor Day, guys and gals. I'm actually up to 4% female viewership now. Thank you. Appreciate it. So today I got something kind of different, but it's in the theme of taking a trip with the fam. So here you go. Last registered in 1976.
You realize I have work to do, right? Like, I have actual work to do, things to do. What are you doing? Completely uninterested. All right, let's do this. All right, for the camera, baby. Off the RV, in your mouth. Awesome. Okay, hey, welcome back, Tuba Views. Today I've got something, well, it's kind of like a boat. It's fiberglass in a lot of places. It does have some aluminum paneling with some marine paint on it. But for the most part, it's gel coat. Old 1970s gel coat. This is an old GMC. Pinstriping that's going to be a little bit difficult to play with, but we'll see. Not much of a shine. There's the reflection of the sun. It's about as much as you're going to get right there. And why am I here? Why are we talking about this thing? If you see a difference in color and shine from this little area to this little area, the reason is me. And compound and a buffer and some time. The sides came out really nice, and again, you want to see this dead on, so hey guys, 45-degree angles are for quitters. You should make it so that you can see yourself right here. Now you can see my watch, but it's not super shiny, only because if you look at the let's see, I don't know if there's a way to see this, but it's got a little orange peel in the gel coat. Now, I'm not going to sit here and sand all that smooth. So, oh, hey, look, the decals, pinstriping. That's all still there. It's kind of a miracle. Anyway, I figured I'd show you what I do on an older RV. Now, I've done another maybe 2 or 3 videos on RVs before. I never really get too into them. Usually when they're so neglected that they get to me, there's a reason. And if you look at the top, you can see a lot of fading up there. There's not much I can do on that. I mean, if there's gel coat, I can fix it. If there's not gel coat, you know, you enjoy what you can get. Anyway, so on the other side of this and the back here, I've still got a ways to go, and I thought maybe I would show you what I was working on and how I was working on it, so that you can get a sense of what you might want to do with your RV or old boat, because really that's all I'm doing is stuff that has to do with gel coat. So I'll set you up somewhere and get started rolling. In the meantime, grab yourself a beer. It's hot. I'm in the shade, but still super hot. And it's not like I get a break even though I'm in the shade, because this guy just can't get enough of this fargan ball. Look how smart he is. Even when I go to fake him out, he's like, no, eye on the ball. That's a sign of a smart dog. Good boy. All right, leave me alone. I got to get stuff done, get set up, and then we'll get back into this. Now, this is just me masking things off. I didn't think you needed the full, 10 minutes that it took to do these windows. You're welcome. Okay, here we go. And yes, I'm in the shade, but there's enough sun poking through here and occasionally up there that I can see the finish. So it's not going to hold me back. I've cleaned out my pad, spurted it out. She's ready to go. I'm going to use Heavy Cut by 3M. Not the weird stuff, just straight up Heavy Cut, okay? So I'm going to put a couple little squirrels. Squirrels. A couple little swirls on the pad. Okay. Make sure my speed is at the lowest setting, and I'm just going to spread this out. bit more heavy cut down here. Now the pad's wet because it's already got some compound, so I don't need to put on nearly as much. Spreading edges, flat stuff. Thank you. All right, now that I've sufficiently taken some of the oxidation off, most of, all of, now I'm going to come back over this with some perfected EXAC. Okay. Move the ladder back over here and get this on. Same thing as before, spreading edges, flatten out, all right? Okay, here we go, bottom part.
Oof. Now here I'm just taking a microfiber towel and wiping up some of the compound residue, checking in different spots, making sure I like the reflection. I thought I'd speed it up for you. You'll find on a lot of RVs, coaches, caravans, what have you, when using a buffer on the sides, you'll get a lot of hop, wherein the buffer won't be going along smoothly anymore. It'll start to like bounce around and play. It's because, unlike boats, most RVs, coaches, caravans don't have bulkheads on the inside to support the shape that they hold. These panels are basically held in by the weight of the roof and the way that they were formed in the mold. So when you get like in the middle of whatever supports there are, the resonant frequency of the buffer starts transferring to the panel, and it starts wiggling in and out. Whoop, 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 whoop. Well, that catches your buffer and makes it wobble, whoop, 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 in and out, or up and down and hopping side to side. You just have to do some things, and I've got a couple videos if you're interested watching how to avoid or how to correct hop. You just have to do those things, and you can basically get going back the way you were. So I'll leave you alone. Keep getting bored watching this. So it turns out it looks like I'm working in a place that the camera's not able to show. My apologies. I'm going to go ahead and cut this and edit it. So I'll catch you up in just a second.
So what's on the back of this door? This is gel coat. What's on the top of this is like a kind of plastic. I mean, honest to God, it feels like just a really hard plastic. And then down below, this is all paint, like marine paint or aviation paint over metal, aluminum. So when doing a project like this, you kind of, as a detailer, have to get inventive. Now, luckily for me, most of this stuff reacts to abrasives. So using a heavy cut with a wool pad is able to pull a shine out of it. That being the case, it's not paint like a car, and it's not gel coat like a boat. It's a little bit different, and I honestly don't know what it is. You'd have to research the 1970s GMC POS RV camper, I guess, to figure out what it is. So what I'm going to show you right now is just me. Let's see, I've gotten up here, I've done this half and over on this side. So I'm not able to get the decal, obviously, to look the same because it was covered by a tire carrier for 40, 50 years. But I can get the gel coat to match the two, you know what I'm trying to say. I don't have to explain myself to you. Anyway, I'm going to get into this. Ooh, happy. Okay, this is stupid. There we go. Don't try this at home. Yeah, please don't try that at home and sue me and tell everyone that I told you to do it. Get a ladder, make it stable. Okay, so now I'm going to focus on this little area right here. It's going to be a little problematic because I got this license plate frame and this, whatever you want to call that, membership club plate. And I got the diamond plate down here. Now, the diamond plate does have a tendency to move a little bit. So I'm just going to get my wheel down as far as I can go. That's good enough for the girls I date. You know what I'm saying? If you're saying to yourself, Lee, you just ground that dirt right into the surface. This thing's been 50 years out on the road. She wasn't a museum queen. A couple scratches aren't going to really make or break this, especially with this giant crack right here. Pick your battles. Now a decent wash, and she's about ready for some wax. Now I have to do some research to find out what's going to be best for plastics. I'm honestly thinking that Armor All, the new formula, it's not the crap that we all had in the 70s and 80s and 90s. They've completely redone it, so I'm thinking because there's a lot of plastic in this, I should probably use the Armor All on the places that are plastic gel coat. And down here where it's paint, I'll use a car polish, car wax, something decent, maybe Jescar's. Although Jescar says it only lasts for 6 months on the bottle, so I'll probably, honest to God, use New Finish 2000 on the bottom part here. Why? Because it works. It's not the best wax in the world, but it works. And this guy is not going to want to clean and wax his RV every 6 months. He should be all right. And as long as he keeps it clean, should stay looking pretty sharp for quite a while. Anyway, I've got a little bit to go up in the front. I'll probably put you on pause, reposition the camera, and we'll get up there, okay? Peace. Right. So right about now, I'm going to be working on around the window frames, get up into here. I've already done this bottom section down here up to this little vent / hornet's nest. Anyway, so this has all been done, heavy cut and perfected. I'll do the heavy cut around here, and then I'll come back over it with Perfected just to try to make the reflective surface as shiny and bright as I possibly can, not to mention make it as smooth as possible so that when you put a wax on there, it'll have something to bond to and adhere to, and it'll last a lot longer. Also remember, after compounding, you've got to wash this. You got to use some Dawn dishwashing soap, clear off all the compound residue, all the oils and stuff that are used in this stuff to lubricate it, so that whatever wax you do put on here has a better chance to bond and adhere with the surface. That being said, how about you shut up and let me go to work? Sound like a deal? Sweet. All right, here we go. Hey, that sucks. So there's a couple things that I want to talk about. Actually, I don't want to talk about them, but you're here, so I'll talk about them. Let's see. So right about there's a line, right? Now, while I was doing this section, I actually did hit this right side of the window, but because there's a line, there's a gap. Gaps have a tendency to do some weird geometric things with the air underneath the buffer wheel, and they, for some reason, allow a lot of the compound to fly out of the wheel and jam in that corner. So I try to avoid the gaps as much as I can. I like to do one panel, finish that, maybe overlap a little bit, but then when I'm doing the second one, I like to overlap a little bit there too, and just kind of blend them together. And then over here, you might have seen me go really aggressive on an edge, going up and down, but then I try to flatten out a little bit. It's hard to explain, but basically I'm trying to convince this piece of gel coat that the buffer was flat on it. So I'll hit it at a little angle going up, and then I'll come back at a different angle coming down, and I'll just keep doing that until I stop seeing the marks of the buffer. There's not much you can do. You're always going to leave some semblance of a swirl there. Hopefully when we wax it and we're using a random orbital polisher, that'll take out any sort of residual ugliness that there is. So I'm going to continue around here, and I got to get up there, so I'll get on the little step stool. As soon as I get around here, I'll come back over it with a little perfected. You can see what that looks like, and after that I'll probably just show you the front over there. Okay, now you don't need to see, particularly, me using perfected EXAC around here. Just imagine, in fact, go ahead and rewind for about 10 minutes and then pretend that I'm using perfected EXAC, because that's all I'm going to do is just the same things that I just did. I'm just going to go over it one more time. I'll probably use about half the total amount of compound on the pad as I did with heavy cut, only because, well, two things. One, I don't know if you can see it down here. Here, I'll zoom in. Womp, and I'll turn you. So you see down here, it's really thin. I don't want to get too aggressive. It's already been thinned out over the last 50 years. So when you're perfecting it, just use as much as you need. Don't use as much as you can get on there. It doesn't serve you any purpose to have a ton of product on there that you have to work and work and work and work until it breaks down. Just put enough on there so that while you spread it out in a section, it covers the whole section. Not caked on, just it covers it. That's all you need to do. Anyway, I am going to continue on working up on the front here. I probably am not going to show you this only because it's going to get a little detailed, because I've got a bunch of stuff to go around, and it's the same stuff I've done up until now, so you don't really need to see it. When I'm completely done, maybe we'll give this a wash. I don't know if I'll get into the waxing of it today. I've got some things going on and some people in town, so I'm going to hang out with them for a while. Anyway, there's probably more to this video. I can't tell at the moment, but I'm guessing there will be. So hang out, grab a beer, and I'll be back. Okay, well, she's done. The very next step we've already talked about. I've got to wash this, clean off all the compound residue, and then I can apply some waxy wax. Now, the front is probably the worst part of this rig, only because it's just been hammered by bugs and road stuff and sunlight. But the rest of it, I mean, it has I'd say it looks good, but it's green, so I can't really say it looks good. But it's got a shine to it, and I'm okay with that. So the only thing I'm really kind of grumped out about is this area down here by the tire carrier. Luckily for me, there's going to be a tire carrier back on there, so I don't have to really worry about it. But on a personal level, it kind of bites me just a little. Anyway, if you've got an old RV and you're thinking about, doing something, you just spend a weekend. That's all this took, and my heart wasn't in it. It's a hot couple of days. I think I probably had about 7 beers in the last 2 days, which is, a little rare for me. I usually have about 2. So anyway, the next step is, like I said, wash this and throw some protection on there. And like I was talking about earlier, I'm thinking about on the plastic areas, maybe above the gunnel, rub rail, maybe some Armor All. But who knows? I might search around for something that works great for plastics. And I know boats, for the most part, are plastic. They're gel coat. So the difference is gel coat is very porous and it absorbs a lot of oil. And if you put something on here that's not made for it, then it's going to give you some problems, and I don't want to encounter problems. And as this is a really old RV, in fact, here, I don't know if you can see it, but the discoloration, somebody used like Zepp floor polish or whatever to shine that up. And so if you see discoloration where it's the right color, that's where I was able to grind through it. Where it's a little bit darker over here, I didn't really want to put Super Duty on a 50-year-old RV, so I just kind of left it. There are some choices that you make as a detailer or an owner. Some things are, they're good enough. You go too hard, if I had tried to grind this off with Super Duty, I might have gotten it off, but I also might have gone through, and that's just one more eyesore that the owner doesn't need. So I tried to play within my boundaries on that, and I think I did okay. Besides, this side's got a huge Bondo repair and some stuff down here. I'm not terribly worried about perfection. All right, well, that said, y'all have a great day. Appreciate your time. It's just, grinding and grinding. That's all it ever is. Peace.
Hey, if you got something out of this, send me $1,000,000 or like and subscribe. By the way, ask your questions.